Today we're going to discuss part 1 of Healthy Kitchen Basics. Setting up your kitchen is probably one of the most important tasks you will need to do to start your new lifestyle and to maintain it. Think about your kitchen for a second. Our kitchens in our homes are usually the focal point in any home. If you're a person that entertains or just has regular gatherings, you know this to be true. I know for my home, everyone always ends up around the island of my kitchen, and it doesn't matter how much room I have, everyone always ends up there. They end up where the food is. Why is that? Well, one of our ingrained natures is when we socialize, we eat. We talk about our schedule in the morning over a quick bite and a cup of coffee, and when we review our day with our family, it's usually at dinner. I don't care what culture you grew up in, food made from your family kitchen is nourishing and comforting. And having a healthy, organized kitchen will determine your success with your new lifestyle and with the time that you spend with those you care for most. So let's get to it. First things first, get rid of the junk, quick fix mixes, and the food with no expiration dates. We've discussed it before. Clean out your cabinets, your cupboards, refrigerators, and freezers. Throw out anything that has frostbite, crust on it, or you simply can't remember when you purchased it. I know for some of you it's going to be tough because many of us have been taught waste not, want not. Well, rule of thumb when it comes to food in your house, if it has a long shelf life, I can guarantee you this, you will have a short shelf life. So throw it out if it doesn't fall within the Transitions lifestyle system. And you know if you keep food in your house that doesn't support your new healthy lifestyle, you're more likely to have a weak moment and binge on something that will set you back, not only physically, but mentally. Next, get organized. Clean off countertops, clean out the drawers and kitchen storage areas. Grab a trash bag and start getting rid of the non-essentials. Remove anything that isn't used for food preparation, storing, serving, or cleaning up. Throw out duplicates and anything broken, stained, or chipped beyond use. Throw out old condiments and spices. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones with the dry crust around the rim. Then comes the hard part, a deep, clean strategy that will require some tough choices. Like, do I really need every version of the Lean Mean grilling machine? Why do you want to do this? Well, think about it. What would you do if you walked into a restaurant that was cluttered, unorganized, and downright messy? You would turn around and walk out. You wouldn't eat there. So why would you do it in your own kitchen? Get rid of the excess and clean everything with a non-toxic disinfectant to eliminate germs and bacteria. Getting organized is good both for mind and body. And when you're organized, you can store things in their appropriate locations and it will make healthy food preparation an ease. Now that you have cleaned and organized your kitchen, it's time to discuss the basic needs for your kitchen. And we have a special guest to help us, my good friend, Chef Doug Boxley. Take a look. Hey Doug, how are you?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Well, thanks for being here today. We really appreciate you taking time out for us.
No problem.
So Doug, what are some basic kitchen essentials for an individual starting out?
Well, you're going to need to, let's start out on the range top. You're going to need to have a good frying pan. I use stainless steel, but if you're going to be cooking at home, I would probably recommend something that is non-stick, possibly Teflon, but you know, something that you're going to be able to do some sauteing and maybe even some stir fry. You're also going to need some pots. I would recommend having a 2-quart pot and a 8-quart pot. And you're looking for something that's going to be, you know, something a little thicker, metal, stainless steel, and then you want something with a thicker bottom. The thicker bottom is going to help you with problems with scorching, and you're going to be able to, you know, cook things at a higher temperature, and you want to protect your food, so you want to have that thick bottom for that. You're also going to need a strainer or a colander, and I would again recommend that be a stainless steel, because you want to be able to use it as a steamer. And what I would do is you'd fill a little bit of water in your 8-quart pot, and then you're able to put your colander into the pot, and then you can put the pot top on top of the colander, and then you have your steamer right there.
That's great.
As far as in the oven, you're probably going to need to have a cookie sheet or a baking sheet and a roasting pan. Those are pretty common. And then let's talk about what you might need for utensils. Okay. Start out with your knives. You're definitely going to want to have a chef knife, and then either a slicer or a carving knife. You're going to need a paring knife, and also a bread knife or a serrated edge.
And what about cutting boards? What do you recommend?
You're definitely going to need a cutting board. I would recommend staying away from wood. Wood, one, it's going to, if you try to wash it after a while, it's going to start to warp, and you don't want that. And it also it harbors molds and bacteria over time, and that's just not good to get into the food. I myself use their standard hard white plastic cutting boards. It seems to suit me just fine. Some other utensils that you might need, maybe some spatulas. You're going to need a spatula for flipping, so you can flip things that are in your pans or taking out of your roasting pans or what have you. But you're also going to need a soft rubber spatula. This is real important so that when you're mixing something in a bowl or you're trying to get every last bit of food out of what your dish is, you can scrape it right out of the bowl with a rubber spatula. You know what you have to have? Healthy cooking essential is an oil spritzer. Now, the temptation is going to be to pour a lot of oil in your pan, but if you have an oil spritzer, you're going to be able to control how much oil you're using, and you can use that on salads, you can use that just straight in the pan for cooking. Very versatile.
That's a great point. Mm-hmm. Now, just one question, going back to the wooden cutting boards.
Right.
With utensils, you have wooden spoons and things like that. Is it the same as far as bacteria?
At first they're going to be fine, but if you want something that's going to be long-lasting, something that you're going to be able to use for over a long period of time, I would recommend staying away from wood.
Now, what about oils? What are some good oils to have in your kitchen?
Well, if you're talking about just oil for salad dressings or something that you just want to add to a sauce, extra virgin olive oil is really where the flavor is for me. There's a lot of different oils that you can use, things like flaxseed oil or something that has a different flavoring to it. But you got to watch out what you cook with. For cooking, you want something that's going to have a high smoke point. And by smoke point, I mean the point at which the oil is going to burn. And what happens if the oil burns, it's going to release carcinogens and free radicals. So if you're trying to stay health conscious, you're going to want to stay away from any low smoke point oils in your cooking. So yeah, my best recommendation would be canola.
Now, what about spices? What are some great universal spices that you can have for healthy cooking, flavor up your food, decorate your dish?
Well, some things that I just have to have. One, I'm going to say paprika. It's a nice smoky spice. If you want to really kick it up a notch, maybe you want to go for some cayenne pepper. I always like cumin as well. It works well with a lot of dishes. You can have a curry powder, which is real nice. If you want to have a garlic powder or onion powder, that's great too. I prefer cooking with the fresh onions and garlic, but if you just want a little flavoring, they're good to have. I would recommend a coarse black pepper over just a fine black pepper. And I know that we don't want to talk about it, but there is salt. Okay. Now there's salt and then there's salt. But what I prefer is a kosher salt, or even better would be a sea salt. Something that I like about the sea salt is you don't have to use as much to bring out the flavor, so less salt is always better. And also with the sea salt, you're going to have some essential minerals that is going to be good and healthy for your cooking.
And herbs. Tell me the difference between fresh versus dried. What would you recommend there?
Well, there really is no substitute for the fresh herbs. That's where you're going to get your best flavors, and as far as quality of food, fresh is definitely going to be better. But if you can't get to the local farmer's market or your grocery store, you can have your dry alternatives. Some stuff that I always like to keep around is maybe some dried thyme, oregano, basil, maybe sage. These are all good things to have. And you're not going to need to use as much of the dry herb as you would as a fresh herb, because the flavors are really just going to come out of them.
Any last tips for that individual that's just starting to cook?
Be creative. Don't be afraid to try something new. I mean, you can always substitute in some new herbs or some new spices. Even if it's something you're not familiar with, just go for it. You know, try out a new vegetable. Really, everyone has different tastes and different taste buds, and you just got to find what you like.
Well, Doug, I want to thank you for taking time out for us today. It was really informative.
It was really my pleasure.
Now remember, when choosing your cookware, you should look at quality and warranty in purchasing a cookware set and cutting utensils. Don't buy cheap imitation pots and pans and those that claim that they're non-sticking but really do stick after the first time you use them. You want a set of cookware that has a lifetime guarantee and stands up to high heat temperatures. Herbs and spices are important to healthy cooking. So many people have this misconception that healthy or nutritious eating is bland or boring. It is important to know that you don't have to be a gourmet chef to use herbs and spices in your food. They can transform basic dishes into memorable meals without adding calories, fat, salt, and/or sugar, and boost the health quotient. Most spices come with impressive health benefits, and like salad greens, herbs are full of plant-containing antioxidants and other health properties. You can find reference of these herbs and spices in your Transitions Lifestyle Journal. I also suggest that you go online and order yourself the Cook's Reference to Herbs and Spices by Jill Norman. And you can also find books on herb mixtures and spice blends where you can learn about flavoring for ethnic foods, how to make marinades, and no salt blends. These types of books should really be a staple in your kitchen. Remember, there's some oils that are good for high heat cooking while others are better for salad dressings. Some of the healthiest oils are a walnut oil, a polyunsaturated fat and a good source of omega-3s with a smoke point of 400 degrees Fahrenheit. This oil is good for baking and sauteing at a low to medium high heat, or you can try it drizzled on salad. Flaxseed oil, a polyunsaturated fat and also a good source of omega-3s. Due to its low smoke point of 225 degrees Fahrenheit, it should not be used for cooking over heat. Try it stirred in dishes after heating or in salad dressings, salsa, or smoothies. Then you have canola oil, a monounsaturated fat with a medium-high smoke point of 425 degrees Fahrenheit. You can use it in baking, sauteing, stir-frying, and in dressings, and it's inexpensive too. And everyone's favorite, olive oil, a monounsaturated fat with a medium smoke point of 325 degrees. Use this flavorful oil for light sauteing sauces like pesto and salad dressing. And to really add to your kitchen and cooking abilities, consider a crock pot, a grill, and a water filter. One of the most basic needs of every living thing is fresh drinking water. Water is essential for us to function, but sadly it's not always possible to get clean, fresh water from our taps. Water should be filtered before it flows from our taps into our kettles and glasses and then into our bodies. Water filtering systems are becoming a necessity for all faucets in today's home. There are numerous makes and models of treatment systems. Rated one of the best systems in America is Pure H2O dual filter system. Talk to your Transitions representative or certified coach on how you can purchase the Pure H2O dual filter system. Another positive extra would be fruit and veggie wash. Have it nearby or underneath your kitchen sink. It is important to clean all fruits and vegetables because some green leafy vegetables are packaged directly in the fields. Washes contain citric acid and surfactants to remove wax, soil, and agricultural chemicals. Or the other option is you can always make your own. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 3/4 cups of vinegar, 8 ounces of water, and 10 drops of grapefruit seed extract. Following these basics like getting rid of the junk, cleaning out the clutter, and organizing your kitchen and your mind, you will have a great foundation for living the lifestyle and a sense of accomplishment. You will enjoy being in your kitchen, and cooking healthy will be easy, and you and your family will benefit not only physically, but with your social gatherings. This is Lydia Martinez, your Certified Transitions Lifestyle Coach.